Prep Setup Part 1. Now, before we jump into this lecture, I really want to emphasize that we do focus on becoming a high performance individual. And as much as we don't coach individuals to the stage, this is going to be super valuable for those that are looking to compete or perhaps enter a photo shoot prep, a contest prep, or even just shed some body fat heading into summer. So if this is a long-term goal, please do reach out. Please do make sure that we can help you along that journey, and we can break down into small bite-sized chunks the position you're in versus the position we need to get you, and ultimately how many weeks it's going to take to get you shredded. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you actually ready for prep? Because a holistic approach to well-being actually encompasses the mental, the physical, and the extrinsic lifestyle. When we have a mental understanding of our own personal motivations, that's going to be crucial for fostering self-confidence. Why is it that you want to step on stage? Why is it that you want to enter a photo shoot prep? And also it helps with a positive mindset because it does emphasize the outcome over the process. Now, a strong work ethic, bullet point number 3, and intrinsic motivation is going to drive your success. Okay, the saying is habits equal success. And while effective coping strategies for stress and challenges are going to help with resilience, we do need to support the core beliefs and the faith behind your mental capacity, which simply comes down to a positive mental attitude. When we actually take a look at the physical outcomes, optimizing body division and function, managing and improving your body composition, and maintaining your overall health status, that is going to be vital, because when you are in prep for a considerable amount of time, whether it's 12 weeks, whether it's 20 weeks, whether you've been dieting for almost 3/4 of the year, we need to make sure that you are healthy and we're not burning both ends of the candle. So really, we're looking at enhancing recovery capacity to ensure that you've got sustained performance in the gym. And extrinsically, we're looking at managing, but also enhancing relationships, because your mood can change, especially when you do diet, and that can affect others around you. The saying is, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. Whether you like it or not, you conform to behaviors based on social suggestion. So really, before you are entering prep, we want to make sure that you've got strong relationships. There's no issues there. But also you've got the financial stability, because a lot of guys and girls, when they do enter prep, let's say they lose their job, or perhaps they lose their house, that is really going to knock their confidence, especially if they've been dieting for a long period of time. And it's going to be essential for a balanced and a fulfilling prep, whether it's a contest prep, photo shoot prep, or even a holiday prep. So just make sure that you've got everything aligned, kind of the perfect environment to be able to say, yep, I'm ready for prep. Nothing else is going on in my life which could perhaps cause problems, and really it's about focusing on me right now, my goals, and where I want to get to. So in terms of prep and how we actually end the fat loss phase, I thought I'd include a few studies found on PubMed, and really it comes down to looking at the starting and the end points for body composition, because that is going to show significant changes across various studies depending on how long you are dieting for. So we can actually see Van der Plig, or however you want to pronounce it, back in 2001 actually observed a 12-week prep for bodybuilders using something called a DEXA scan. So for those of you on a fat loss journey, a DEXA scan is just a machine, a very, very good machine actually. I've used it myself to help measure the amount of body fat within or around your body. Now, it showed a reduction from 18% to 12% body fat, and also Stinfold measures decreasing from around 25.5 millimeters over 8 sites. Whereas Rosso in 2013 actually reported a 6-month contest prep for natural male bodybuilders, and that did result in body fat dropping from 14.8% to 4.5%, with a 10% body fat change and a 3% loss in fat-free mass. Looking at Holme in 2016, found that females undergoing a 20 plus or minus 4-week prep reduced body fat from 27% to 12%, noting that more body fat loss often leads to more muscle loss. So to put it simply, the longer that you diet, the higher the risk that you could actually lose muscle. So with any fat loss phase, you want to get in, you want to get out. But again, it comes down to your starting position, how much body fat you actually need to drop, what's the end goal if you want to drop 10, 20, 30, 40 kilos of body fat, and how we actually break them down into specific phases, our 5-phase metabolic system, because nobody wants to be dieting throughout the entire year. Then the rate of loss actually impacts muscle retention, as demonstrated by Garth in 2011. Basically, they looked at resistance trained females losing around 0.7% body fat, and they retained lean body mass, while 1.4% loss led to decreased muscle mass. And then similarly, we got Miro in 2010, found decrepitance in bench press strength, so of around 0.5 kilos to 1 kilo respectively. There were extra factors influencing outcomes, including Brin's study in 2017, who actually suggested that diet periods of 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off resulted in 50% more fat loss over 30 weeks. And this is something that I have definitely done. Upon recording this, I've been dieting now for 7 months, and it's a basic approach where you actually take a look at calorie cycling, which we'll look at in further lectures. But more importantly, it actually reinforces adherence, but also consistency. And for those that are elite dieters, this could be super valuable for you. But again, for those of you that are new to dieting, perhaps not the best approach, as it could sway you off track to the result that you want to get. Now, additionally, being ready 2 weeks out, there's different diet styles, there are different calorie cycling approaches. We have to make sure that your muscle mass and your experience plays a crucial role in the effectiveness of body composition changes. So if you are someone that is an elite dieter or an elite athlete that is looking to get into contest prep condition, we need to make sure that obviously any changes, any manipulations in your carbs, your proteins, your fats, and also your training is going to give you the best possible outcome as well. So how do we actually put this all together? Essentially, you want around 20 to 30 weeks overall to diet. Okay, any longer than that, and you do actually run the risk of actually losing muscle. And we want to aim for a total body fat loss of around 10%. Now, the weight loss rate, let's call it that, should be around 0.5 to 1.5% per week. To put it simply, if you're not losing that, you're not on a calorie deficit. And then faster fat loss initially, and then it slows down towards the end. So to begin with, you're probably going to drop some water, probably going to drop some liver and muscle glycogen. For every gram of carbohydrate you consume, we store around 3 to 4 grams of water. So you may even drop 1.5% per week, and then that starts to kind of tailor off as you get into the latter stages of this prep. For example, if you have a 220-pound male at 12% body fat, the target is going to be 9%. Okay, so that equates to around losing 20 pounds of fat and approximately 25 pounds of total body weight. And again, 20 pounds of fat, if we look at total body weight, you've got muscle, you've got glycogen, you've got water. The timeline itself, you could actually break it down. First 10 weeks, the average weight loss should be around 0.8%, slightly lower than what the projection could be. Total weight loss is around 17 pounds. And then from week 11, perhaps you implement a 1 week diet break plus a deload. And that's going to give you major psychological advantages when it comes to dieting. I see from time and time again, a lot of guys and girls, they tend to yo-yo. So they'll diet for X number of weeks, and then they'll pretty much eat whatever they want and realize, hey, I've put on the weight back, and then it takes them longer. So really, that 1 week diet break, or even just an off meal plan, is super valuable, not only from a mindset perspective, but also a body composition perspective as well, because we are effectively replenishing liver and muscle glycogen, which is going to help with your performance. If your performance is going up, progressive overload, you're going to retain that muscle. Are you going to build muscle? Perhaps not. Again, it all comes down to factors like sleep, stress, your personal and unique circumstances. For some guys and girls, they will. Others, they won't. And then from week 12 to 19, rate of loss starts to slow down. And that's because you actually run the risk of losing muscle. So 0.5% and then total weight loss of 8 pounds. And then from week 20, you've got a 2-week period to be ready early. So questions you could ask yourself: am I mentally ready? Am I physically ready? So am I in contest condition? How long was the duration? 21 weeks, potential 1 to 2 week buffer added for adjustments. So if you're not quite there, it gives you a little bit more time just to get you into that condition. If you are there, then it gives us enough time to look at a peak and a protocol to make sure that we have the best possible chance to give you the best visual look on contest day.